नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपके और हमारे YouTube चैनल नर्सिंग कैरियर क्लब में। हमें उम्मीद है कि आपने हमारा पिछला वीडियो जरूर देखा होगा। यदि किसी कारणवश नहीं देख पाए हैं तो दिए गए डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स के लिंक पे क्लिक करें और जरूर देखें। हमें उम्मीद है कि आपको हमारा वीडियो जरूर पसंद आएगा। अगर आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आता है तो इसे लाइक, शेयर एवं सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें। तो आइए दोस्तों, आज हम डिस्कस करते हैं बीएससी नर्सिंग 4th ईयर का सब्जेक्ट मिडवाइफरी एंड ऑब्स्टेट्रिकल नर्सिंग के चैप्टर 12 से रिलेटेड। चैप्टर 12 का नाम है फैमिली वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स। फैमिली वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स में से भी आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे फर्टिलिटी और इनफर्टिलिटी। पर्टिकुलरली हम देखते हैं इनफर्टिलिटी एंड उसके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स कुछ निम्न प्रकार है। फर्स्ट, डिफाइन फर्टिलिटी एंड इनफर्टिलिटी which is discussed in slide number 5. Second, explain the types of infertility which is discussed in slide number 6. Next, explain the causes of infertility which is discussed in slide number 7. Next, enlist the factors responsible for infertility which is discussed in slide number 11. Next, describe the investigation of infertility which is described in slide number 12. And explain the management of infertility which is described in slide number 19. Next, explain artificial insemination which is described in slide number 24. Next, explain assisted reproductive technology which is discussed in slide number 28. Next, describe alternatives to infertility which is discussed in slide number 38. Next, describe the ethical and legal issues in infertility which is discussed in slide number 40. Explain the role of nurses in infertility management which is discussed in slide number 41. So this is all about its objectives. Now let's start our topic infertility with definition. So let's see what is fertility. So fertility is defined as the capacity to conceive or reproduce. So fertility is simply the capacity to conceive or reproduce. And if you talk about infertility, then it is just opposite of fertility. So infertility is failure to conceive within 1 or more years of a regular unprotected coitus or intercourse. So infertility means that if a couple are unable to conceive within 1 or more years after having an unprotected intercourse, then it is called as infertility. So simply we can say that infertility is the inability to achieve conception after 1 year of unprotected intercourse. Now let's see about its types of infertility. Then first types is primary infertility. So primary infertility means when a couple has never been pregnant, either the woman has never conceived or the man has never fathered a child. This condition is known as primary infertility. Now second type is secondary infertility. So secondary infertility means secondary infertility refers to women who have achieved pregnancy and given birth in the past but are now having difficulty in conceiving. So it is all about secondary infertility. Now let's see about idiopathic infertility. So idiopathic infertility means no definite cause for the infertility can be found. And fourth is recurrent miscarriage. Recurrent miscarriage means women who experience recurrent miscarriage may also receive a diagnosis of infertility if they experience 2 or more successive miscarriages. So this is all about its types. Now let's see our first practice question number 1. So our first practice question is infertility is the inability to conceive after dash year of unprotected intercourse. Our option is first 1, second 2 and third option is 3. So our correct answer is option first, that is 1. because infertility is the inability to conceive after 1 year of unprotected intercourse, which is already discussed in slide number 5. Now let's see about causes of infertility. So you can see the causes of infertility in couples and women. So in couples, you can see in this pie chart that tubal and pelvic pathology 35%, male problems 35%, ovulatory dysfunction 15%, unexplained infertility 10%, and unusual problems 5%. And if you see the pie chart of women, then you can see tubal and pelvic pathology 40%, ovulatory dysfunction 40%, unexplained infertility 10%, and unusual problems 10%. So let's discuss the causes individually. So first let's see about female causes. So for female causes, first cause is endometriosis, second cause is tubal blockage. So due to PID, pelvic inflammatory disease, because it leaves scar tissue and adhesions as a result of inflammation, tubes may be kinked or twisted, so which may result in tubal blockage. You can see in the diagram of both endometriosis and tubal blockage. Now let's see about previous surgery. So previous surgery is also the cause for infertility, and next cause is use of IUD, or IUD means intrauterine device, which is a contraceptive methods, or progesterone only oral contraceptives also increases the risk of ectopic pregnancy. And next is ovulation anomalies, which is also called as anovulation. And next is cervical mucus problems and hormonal deficiencies that maintain the thick acidic property of cervical mucus, so it is hostile to sperm. So these all are the female causes which results in infertility. Now let's see about male causes. So in the male causes, first is sperm production problems, second is blockage of sperm transfer, third is sexual problem, fourth is hormonal problem, fifth sperm antibodies. Now let's see about factors responsible for infertility. First is coital frequency. So it is also the important factor that is responsible for both fertility and infertility. Second thing is obesity. Next, low body weight, occupation, diet, stress, medical conditions, use of drugs and chemicals. These all are the factors that is responsible for infertility. Now let's see about investigations of infertility. So, objective of investigations are to detect the etiological factors, because until and unless you know the etiological factors, you can't treat the infertility. In order to manage the infertility, first you need to know what is the main cause for infertility, so that factors can be managed. So if the etiological factors will manage, then it automatically manages the infertility problem. So first objective is to detect the etiological factors. Second is to rectify the abnormality in an attempt to improve the fertility. Third is to give assurance with explanation to the couple if no abnormality is detected. Now let's see about basic investigations. So these all are the investigation related to the male, which includes first history. In history, you can ask about age, duration of marriage, history of previous marriage, general medical history, surgical history, occupational history, sexual history, social habits, and after history you can have some examinations like general and specific examinations, seminal fluid analysis, normal semen values you can check, and in normal semen values you can check volume, which is 2.0 ml or more, pH 7.2 or 7.8, sperm concentration, that is 20 million per ml or more, total sperm count, that is greater than 40 million per ejaculate, motility 50% or more progressive forward motility, morphology, that is 15% or more normal form, viability 75% or more living. So here you can see the criteria for semen analysis, and you can see the normal semen values. So if there will be any deviation from these normal values, then you can detect any abnormalities related to the criteria, whether there is abnormality in the volume, whether there is abnormality in the pH. So likewise you can identify the abnormalities. And you can see leukocytes, that is less than 1 million per ml, sperm agglutination, that is less than 2, scale of 0 to 3. Now you can see in-depth evaluation. In in-depth evaluation you can check for serum FSH, LS, testosterone, prolactin and TSH. You can check fructose content in the seminal level, that is greater than 30 umol per liter. Testicular biopsy you can do. Now next thing we can do in investigation is that transrectal ultrasound, which is also called as TRUS. Next thing you can do is you can do vasogram. You can go for immunological test. So now we had already discussed about male investigation. Now let's discuss about female investigation. So for female investigation, first is history. So in history we can check general medical history, surgical history, menstrual history, previous obstetrical history, contraceptive practice, sexual problems and all. Second thing, we can go for examination, that is general and specific examination, gynecological examination and speculum examination. And we can have confirmation of ovulation. So confirmation of ovulation can be done by various methods like indirect, direct and conclusive. So direct method include laparoscopy, conclusive method include pregnancy, and indirect methods include menstrual history, basal body temperature assessment, and basal body temperature should be taken with a special thermometer every morning before getting out of the bed. And you can find that basal body temperature increases slightly at ovulation and remain increased until menstruation or pregnancy. And next thing you can do is cervical mucus study. So after ovulation, the cervical mucus becomes thick and sticky and can be stressed between the fingers, which is also known as a sign called as spin barket. And next you can check hormone estimation. So testicular dysfunction causes rise in FSH and LH. So next thing you can go for vaginal cytology. It is a microscope examination of cells from the vagina. And next is endometrial biopsy. Now let's see about management of infertility. So for management of infertility, first thing we can give couple instructions. So for couple instruction, first thing is assurance. First you need to assure the couples. Second, you have to assure or you have to give guidance related to smoking and alcohol. So instruct them to avoid smoking and alcohol. Third, you can guide them to maintain their body weight. And fourth, you can have instruction related to the coital problems like coital frequencies and all. Now let's talk about male infertility treatment. So in male infertility treatment, first thing is general care. So in general care, first thing is counseling. You can counsel the male related to the infertility. Second thing is use of vitamins E, C, D, B12 and medications like clomiphene citrate 25 to 50 mg orally for 25 days with rest for 5 days for 3 cycles. It increases of serum level of FSH, LH and testosterone. In genetic abnormality, artificial insemination of donor sperm is recommended. Second thing is surgical care. So in surgical care, microsurgeries like vasoepididymostomy or vasovasostomy if patient is agiospermic, and correction of varicocele is done. Orchidopexy in undescended testes is done, and for impotency, psychosexual treatment is done, and for erectile dysfunction, sildenafil 25 to 100 mg. And next treatment is assisted reproductive technology, which is also generally called as ART. Now let's discuss about female infertility treatment. So for female infertility treatment, first general care. In general care, we can provide psychotherapy and reduction of weight, and we can give drugs like clomiphene citrate 50 mg to 250 mg orally for 5 days for 6 cycles. It blocks the estrogen receptors in the hypothalamus, boosting ovulation. And in genetic abnormality, artificial insemination of donor sperm is recommended. And next thing, we can go for gonadotropins instead of pituitary gland. It directly stimulates the ovary to produce more egg. Next is metformin is used when insulin resistance is a known or suspected cause of infertility, so that it can improve the likelihood of ovulation. Next thing is letrozole. Letrozole inhibitors and works in a similar fashion to clomiphene. Letrozole may induce ovulation. And next is bromocriptine. Bromocriptine is a dopamine agonist and it may be used when ovulation problems are caused by excess production of prolactin by the pituitary gland. Now let's see about surgery. So, laparoscopic ovarian drilling can be done, which is called LOD, and tubal surgeries can be done, and uterovaginal surgeries can also be done. Now, let's see about practice question number 2. So, our practice question number 2 is basal body temperature be taken with a special thermometer every. First option is morning, second option is afternoon, and third option is evening. So our answer is first, that is morning, because basal body temperature is always taken in every morning before getting out of the bed, as this has been already discussed in slide number 19. Now let's see about artificial insemination. These all are the advanced technologies that is used to manage infertility. So let's see artificial insemination. In artificial insemination, we see first intrauterine insemination, which is also called as IUI. IUI may be either AIH, that is artificial insemination husband, or AD, that is artificial insemination of a donor, or a combination of both, in which is placed directly into the uterine cavity. IUI is a simple procedure. In this, a thin catheter is passed through the cervical opening into the uterus. Then the prepared sperm are injected through the catheter into the uterine cavity. So the catheter is removed and IUI procedure is completed. So here you can see it is simply simple procedure. This is done in case where motility of sperm is reduced or lacks, so that the fertilization cannot take place. So for this we introduced a prepared sperm directly into the uterus through the cervical opening with the help of the thin catheter. And this is used in hostile cervical mucus, uh, and second is cervical stenosis, third oligospermia, and immune factor, unexplained infertility. So this technique is used in these conditions. Now let's see about its technique. Technique is washing, centrifugation, and swing up method are commonly used. About 0.3 ml of washed and concentrated sperm is injected through a flexible polyethylene catheter within the uterine cavity around the time of ovulation. And washing in culture media remove the protein and prostaglandin from the semen that may cause uterine cramps or anaphylactoid reaction. Swing up method selects the motile spermatozoa. Density gradient centrifugation may also be used, and the processed motile sperm for insemination should be at least 1 million, so that the chances of fertilization will increase. Best results are obtained when the motile sperm count exceeds 10 million. Fertilization capacity for spermatozoa is for 24 to 48 hours. This procedure may be repeated 2 to 3 times over a period of 2 to 3 days in order to get the best result. And second is fallopian tube sperm perfusion. In this, it is a procedure to deliver the sperm to fallopian tube. For this, technique is used like large volume of washed and processed sperm is injected within uterine cavity around the time of ovulation. This causes perfusion of the fallopian tube with spermatozoa. So, in conjunction with the ovulation induction pregnancy rate. Now let's see about assisted reproductive technology. So assisted reproductive technology includes first in vitro fertilization, which is also called as IVF, which is very common word during these days, this modern era. And IVF or in vitro fertilization is a method of assisted reproduction in order to increase the possibility of the pregnancy. It is also called as test tube baby, which explains itself. It is the procedure to fertilize eggs with sperm outside the human body. So it is called as in vitro. In vitro means outside. Now let's see about its indications. So indications means in which condition we need to do in vitro fertilization. First is blocked or damaged fallopian tubes. Second, abnormal sperm. Third, endometriosis or immunologic problem. Next, other infertility treatment. Next, advanced maternal age. And procedure includes the woman is given hormonal treatment to stimulate egg production. Multiple eggs are taken from the woman ovaries, and in the lab the eggs are mixed with the man sperm cell in a culture dish to become fertilized. The fertilized egg or embryo are placed in an incubation for about 48 hours, and then embryos are implanted in the women uterus or frozen for future implanting. Second thing we can do is gift. Gift means gamete intrafallopian transfer. So this process uses multiple eggs collected from the ovaries, and the eggs are placed into a thin flexible tube along with the sperm to be used. Then the gametes both are injected into the fallopian tube using a surgical procedure which is called as laparoscopy, and the doctor will use general anesthesia. Now let's see about GIFT. GIFT is zygote intrafallopian transfer. In this process, it is same as IVF and GIFT. Eggs are stimulated and collected using IVF method. Then the eggs are mixed with sperm in the lab, and fertilized eggs are, that is zygotes are then laparoscopy returned to the fallopian tube where they will carried into the uterus. Difference between that, the fertilized embryo is transferred to the fallopian tube instead of uterus. So in GIFT, mixture of egg and sperm use, and in this transfer of fertilized egg. So this is all about GIFT. Now let's see about ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So in this, sperm are aspirated directly from the epididymis or testicles. After egg retrieval, a single sperm is injected into an oocyte within the help of micromanipulator instead of leaving the oocyte and sperm together in a dish for fertilization. Indications are several male factor infertility, poor quality eggs with thickened cell, prior or repeated fertilization failure with standard IVF and anti-sperm antibodies, use of surgically retrieved sperm directly from the epididymis or testes. So these all are the indications. And the procedure include the mature egg is held with a specialized pipette, and a very delicate, sharp and hollow needle is used to immobilize and pick up a single sperm. Then the needle is then carefully inserted through the cell of egg and into the cytoplasm of the egg, and the sperm is injected into the cytoplasm and the needle is carefully removed. Then the eggs are checked the following day for evidence of normal fertilization, and once the step completed and fertilization is successful, the embryo transfer procedure is used and place the embryo in women's uterus. Now let's see about alternatives to infertility. So if all the advanced technologies, medications, this all fails, then there are some alternatives to infertility. First is surrogacy. So in surrogacy, embryos are transferred to the uterus of another woman who is willing to carry the pregnancy on the behalf of the infertile couple. So surrogacy is done when women uterus is not able to carry the baby for 9 months, so that they will hire another lady, another woman who is medically fit to carry the baby for 9 months on the behalf of the infertile couple. So its types are tradition surrogacy and gestational surrogacy. And second we can go is that for adoption. So if all the alternatives fails, if all the treatment fails, then we can simply go for adoption, so that child will get a new parent and the infertile couple will get a child. So this is all about alternatives to infertility. Now let's see about practice question number 3. So our practice question number 3 is clomiphene citrate 50 mg to 250 mg orally for 5 days for 6 cycles is given in. First option is infertility, second option is multiple pregnancy, and third option is ectopic pregnancy. So the correct answer is first option, that is infertility. As we had already discussed in slide number 22 that clomiphene citrate 50 mg to 250 mg orally for 5 days for 6 cycles is given in infertility management. Now let's see about ethical and legal issues in infertility. So there will be some ethical and legal issues in infertility treatment or infertility management. So first is artificial insemination by donor. So for this, proper consent of her husband should be taken. And second thing is surrogacy. So in surrogacy also, proper consent of surrogate mother should be taken. Total responsibility of rearing parents if child born with birth defects. And third is frozen embryo. So frozen embryo should not be bought or sold. It should be used for only management of the infertility. And issues related to donor insemination, that is use of only one donor for each attempt and proper consent and contract accepting the resultant offspring as legal hire. Now let's see about role of a nurse in infertility management. So our first role is involved with couples who undergo fertility treatment. Second, should be aware of the types of the treatment that are currently available and stresses that the couple has endured during the process. Third is reduce stress in a relationship. Fourth, encourage cooperation, protect privacy, and next is refer couple to appropriate resource when necessary. Next, advise to couple to avoid smoking, which we had already discussed earlier, and emphasis on diet, exercises, stress reduction techniques, health maintenance, disease prevention programs, and last is psychological support. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट इनफर्टिलिटी. हमें उम्मीद है कि आपको हमारा वीडियो जरूर पसंद आया होगा. यदि आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया है तो इसे लाइक, सब्सक्राइब एवं शेयर जरूर करें. अगर आपको इस वीडियो से रिलेटेड कोई भी डिफिकल्टीज है तो आप हमें कमेंट बॉक्स में, डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में जाके कमेंट कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू.